Okay, hi everyone. So I'm going to talk to you about clearing the injured brain, and hopefully by the end of the talk you're going to find out what these beautiful cells are that are on my cover slide. And I guess I just need to briefly go over this, the cells that are within the brain, because we've heard all about the neurons, the wires, that carry the electrical impulses which make us who we are, the astrocytes which support these cells, the oligodendrocytes which actually insulate these cells and help them function better. But I don't know whether to be happy or sad that no one's talked about microglia yet. And this is the immune cell of the brain. It's defending the brain against infection. If there's a dying neuron, these are the cells which clear these the injured brain. So this is actually what one looks like. So this has been filled with dye, so you can actually see all the intricate processes, all the filaments that come out of the cell body here. These are basically contacting all different parts of the brain. And just so you can get an idea of how active these are, I'll just play a little video. And these cells are continuously moving around in the brain. So the filaments are looking around neurons, looking for injured neurons, injured cells, looking for infection. They're constantly surveying the brain. And as we're all sat here now, all our microglia in our brain are all looking around like crazy, just trying to detect some sort of injury or perturbation to the system. So if there's actually is an injury in the system, these microglia are really, really quick to react. And this is another video, and you're going to see a white dot in the middle which represents a very, very small injury to the brain. And you see the way that the microglia react and move to these injuries. And this is really within minutes. So if you just see the microglia looking around, there's a white injury, and all the processes of the microglia rush to the injury to clear it, because if you've got damaged tissue, that can create damage further around in other tissue. So when the damage is big enough, the microglia can't really do everything on their own. So if you have, say, like a stroke, where there's huge tissue damage, or spinal cord injury, where you have huge trauma, the microglia cannot clear this amount of debris on their own. And so they need help from a white blood cell that's in the bloodstream. And this is called a macrophage, and derived from the Latin for macro, big, and phage, eater. And this cell senses the danger from the bloodstream and can travel into the brain or into the spinal cord to help out the microglia with clearing all the damaged tissue. So I don't know if you can see this, is the lights on? So here we've got a section of a spinal cord that's completely healthy, and in red we've got these amazing microglia. And if you imagine the whole spinal cord is full of all different cells, astrocytes, neurons, oligodendrocytes, but the microglia are the only ones you can really see. These are the red cells, and they're all taking up the space within the spinal cord. Now if you've got a huge trauma like you would in some sort of car accident or some sort of injury, you have this really big damage, and all the microglia become activated like you saw in the previous video, and also you have macrophages that come in from the periphery to help out these microglia. And here these are actually stained in red as well, so there's a marker that we use that can stain both cells in the same way, and you can really see it's this huge injury site. So microglia and macrophages respond together after the brain and spine injury, but what I'm really interested in is, are these responses the same, and do these cells actually talk to each other within the brain or the spinal cord? So if we look at a different type of disease, multiple sclerosis that was mentioned, we can this time look at the microglia. So this is in the spinal cord, and the microglia are labelled in white. And in the same section, we can also, using a genetic technique, we can look at the macrophages that come from the periphery, and we can compare the two. And in this way, we can look at the microglia here in white and the macrophages here in green, and try to assess their interactions. So that's basically the kind of the things that I study. So here again, just as kind of a summary, this time we've got microglia in an injured spinal cord labelled in blue. And I want to know whether when the macrophages, this time labelled in green, come into the injury, whether it be in the brain of a stroke patient, spinal cord of somebody that's been in an accident, do these cells talk to each other to help clear away the damage, to help allow for an environment that might be permissive to some sort of regeneration? So the overall question is, how do microglia and macrophages clear the injured brain and spinal cord?